Hello and welcome back with a brand new tutorial, and in this tutorial I will be creating this amazing put manipulation in Photoshop. So as always, I don't want to waste your time. Let's jump into it. Create a canvas of size 2000 and 2500 and then add a first stock image right here and adjust it like this, and then I'm going to rasterize this layer. Select the rectangular selection tool and select this area because I'm going to expand it. Press Ctrl T and then hold your shift button and expand this selection. Okay, so after this I'm going to pick up the eraser and erase this area with a soft eraser. After erasing this, I'm going to add a hue saturation layer, clip it below, and then I'm going to desaturate the all yellow and green. Okay, so after this I'm going to add a second image of this explosion. You can find all the image link in the description of this video. Then I'm going to resize this according to that mountain behind this. Okay, then I'm going to erase these extra areas by a soft eraser. After erasing this, I'm going to add a hue saturation adjustment layer, and then I'm going to add a blue tint to it because I want to match the color of this explosion with that of the background. Now after this I'm going to add another hue saturation layer, and this time I'm going to click on this colorize, and I want to add a color between orange and yellow because I want to add highlights of this, because I will add some lava eruption here, so it must have these highlights. Okay, then I'm going to invert this layer mask by Ctrl I and pick up a brush. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom it and switch these colors so the white color is the foreground color, and then just paint it on the highlights. Change the layer mode to lighten and then paint it on these highlights, not on the shadow. Okay, so after adding highlights, I'm going to add this picture of lava eruption right here and adjust it, decrease the opacity and adjust it on the tip of the mountain like this. Increase the size and adjust it. Okay, then I'm going to change the layer mode to screen and increase the opacity, then add a layer mask, and I'm going to pick up the brush tool and switching these colors so the foreground color is black, and I'm going to remove these extra areas. And don't worry about this extra erasing, you can restore it by switching these colors and again painting like this. Okay, so after this I'm going to add the shadow of that explosion on the side of the mountain. I'm going to duplicate this layer, pressing Ctrl T and rotating this layer and adjust it like a shadow. I'm going to add it here because light is coming from the right side. Okay, so after this right click and go to blending option, and I want to add a color overlay to this. Make sure the black is the color and then click OK. I'm going to remove this extra area and then decrease the opacity of this layer up to like 36. Then go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur, and I want to add blur up to like 4.7. then click OK. Okay, so after applying the Gaussian blur, I'm going to click on the first layer and hold shift and click on the last layer, and then press Ctrl G to group this, then press Ctrl J to replicate this group. Open the group and apply all these layer masks and merge these adjustment layers down. Okay, then click on this layer, hold shift, click here, press Ctrl E to merge this, then close the group, press Ctrl T and right click and then click on flip vertical. So I'm going to add a reflection of that image like this. Okay, so after adding the reflection, I'm going to add a hue saturation adjustment layer, clip it behind and then desaturate this like up to -32. And then after this I'm going to open this group and create a new layer, then click on brush and select color like this. Then I'm going to add some glow to that smoke, change the layer mode to like vivid light. Okay, then I'm going to change the color. You can press Ctrl U so you can change the color. Then I'm going to match it, then click OK. So after clicking OK, I'm going to add another stock image, this image to a new window, and then I'm going to remove this guy feed by clone stamp tool because we don't need him. We are going to add a new person here, so I remove him by clone stamp tool. And then I am also going to remove his reflection because we're going to add a new person here, so we don't need his reflection. Okay, so after this I am going to move it to that window right here, and then I'm going to click on layer mask and then click on brush and make sure the black is foreground color so we can remove these extra areas. After adding these extra areas, I am going to disable this layer and then click on this reflection layer, then go to filter, then blur, and I'm going to add a motion blur to it up to like 36, and then click OK. And then I'm going to add a wave filter so it look like a water reflection. You can copy these numbers and then I'm going to click OK. Okay, so I add this reflection, then I'm going to expand it like this, double click and then add another stock image, decrease its opacity so you can see through it, and then press V and I'm going to adjust it right here. Press Ctrl T, hold Shift and then expand it, then rasterize the layer and add a layer mask, and then pick up the brush tool by pressing B, increase this and erase all these extra areas. It takes time because I'm doing it with precision. After erasing these extra areas, I am going to add a curves adjustment layer and clip it below. Then I'm going to increase the brightness of that layer so it will match with that of the background. Then after this I'm going to add another stock image of this guy, and we need just this guy, so we can click on object selection tool and draw rectangle around him. So Photoshop uses artificial intelligence to select the subject. After the selection, you can zoom in, you can see if the selection is okay or not. If the selection is not okay, you can always select or deselect by quick selection tool like this. Okay, so after the selection I'm going to click on layer mask and press V to move this guy right here. Okay, then I'm going to add a heap saturation adjustment layer and clip it below, then go and click on colorize, and I want to add this color between orange and red. I want to add the highlights to this guy. Okay, then invert this mask by pressing Ctrl I, pick up the brush tool, increase the size and add highlights with a soft brush. Change the layer mode to lighten and then duplicate this layer and press Ctrl T, flip vertical, and here I am going to add the reflection of this guy. You can remove these extra areas. And if you want to know how I add that camera raw filter, you can comment me in the comment section. Then I will make a separate tutorial for this. And thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and click on that bell icon so you will be notified on next tutorial.